Hi and welcome to Data Economy. Here with me I've got Peder Bank, the Managing Director for Interxion Nordics. Hi Peder, thanks for coming along.
Thank you.
So you have data centers in 11 countries, 42 facilities. You're increasing your capital expenditure to around 260 million euros to 280 million euros this year. Where's Interxion going in the next couple of months?
Interxion is following our customers' demand, so we are building out where we have the demand for doing that, and that is more or less the reason behind the expenditure. Yeah.
Then when it comes to the region that you cover, so the Nordics, what's your strategy in the Nordics to expand? Because the Nordics are very, very hot at the moment. They're cold, but they're very hot. So what's the strategy in the Nordics?
Our strategy for the Nordic region is to continue the success we already have by building out the Nordic communication hub here in Sweden, which is, apart from connecting the Nordic region, also a gateway to Russia. And then we will stick to our campus in Copenhagen, which is a more international kind of campus from which you can actually reach 80% of the European GDP in less than 30 milliseconds. Okay.
So what's the plan for the Copenhagen data center? Because you're expanding a little bit now, but I'm sure there's a lot more coming because
there's a lot more coming.
A lot of demand.
Yeah, there's a lot of demand, and currently the hotspot and the hype is around Stockholm, around Sweden. But I do believe that we will see that even reflected in the demand for space in Denmark and in Copenhagen. We have seen We've seen a few recently announced rumors around huge build-outs, giga data centers in Denmark. Apple's in Jutland confirmed, and other rumors going on.
Like Facebook, for example.
Like Facebook, for example. Yeah. And if and when that happens, it gives a lot of, first of all, it gives a lot of traffic, and that's where we are happy to step into the picture. But it is also an important part of putting Denmark on the international data center map. Yeah, which is, I feel, happening these days. Okay. Our strategy is to cover the Nordic region out of our two campuses, the one in Sweden and in Stockholm, and the other one in Copenhagen. Out of Sweden, out of Stockholm, we have built a Nordic communication hub, out of which we cover the Nordic region, and we also serve as a gateway to Russia. And out of our campus in Copenhagen, due to its well connection, we are able to reach 80% of the European GDP within less than 30 milliseconds. So that is our strategy. We're talking about one region and covering that by those two data center campuses.
Okay. You mentioned the Russian gateway link. That's very interesting. How are you working with the Russian authorities or companies to get these links out?
It's more the other way around. It is Russian. There's the same need, same request in Russian for gaming, for digital media, for web services, as more or less in the rest of the world. But not that many European or US companies that eager to put equipment into Russia. Okay. So by putting equipment in Stockholm, you get the proximity to the Russian market. So you're close enough and are able to serve within a recent latency.
But how do you enter Russia? Do you go through like the northern
We have Russian carriers and we have international carriers who have traffic to Russia. So we are well connected to the Russian.
Okay.
Yes.
And then in the Nordics region as a whole, we've spoken about the hype around Stockholm. What's this hype around the Nordics? How did this happen so quickly? Because it just showed up almost from night to day. And what's the difference between the countries? Because there's about 4 or 5 countries in the Nordics.
Yeah, if you look at a place I think we need to start to say that there are different layers of data centers, and on top of it, you may say, is the huge factories, the giga data centers, and then underneath that you have the neutral places where all the different services they meet each other, and where you have the traffic, and then which is the one I'm representing, and then you have still quite some equipment at home, as I used to say, 70-80% is at home. Yeah. So when you look at the hype in this part of the world, it is primarily raised by a few of these giga data centers entering the region. And if you are in a position where you're looking for a perfect spot to put some 200,000 square meters of data center space, you're looking for stability, both from what's the name from ground, from nature. You're looking for stability from the nature. You don't want any earthquake or tsunamis. Yeah. You're looking for political stability and for seeing, and you need to know, because it's huge investment, so you're not moving during the next couple of years because there's a new election. And that is what the Nordic region offers. And next to that, you need a sick amount of power to run these data centers. And that is available again in the region, and even as renewable energy. So that is good. That's good for the world, that's good for the globe. And finally, after you pulled all that energy into the data center, you have an awful lot of heat that you need to get off. But even better now, we come to a point where more of us is starting to reuse the excess heat to heating our homes.
Yes.
So out of these,
side of the data center.
Out of those are the primary reasons, I think, for putting the Nordic region on the map. Apart from that, of course, we are huge users of digital media, of cloud services. So we are quite advanced in our usage. You have a high uptake of all kind of tech services, and you have availability of skilled people and all the other stuff you need. But those 5 parameters, they really make a difference.
And that's actually very interesting, because when you say you're really high when it comes to consuming digital, the IoT hype is out there as well, smart cities and everything else. I know Helsinki has a lot of projects around smart city. Copenhagen, it's huge when it comes to smart city. They're one of the best cities in Europe at the moment with the big Peder Bank. Have you seen a lot of demand from your customers regarding IoT data? So literally just IoT data coming out of, let's say, smart cars. There's a lot of rollouts going out in the Nordics as well, especially Sweden. Have you seen an IoT impact on your business?
We have seen customers working heavily with IoT, and we call it, I think, big data just before that. But it is kind of same side from us, because it's huge amount of data that need to be stored and need to be processed and need to be presented. So we do see a grow in request from such type of customers. Yes. Okay.
And then when you look to building data centers, so in general, not just Interxion, how important is it that you include suppliers in the early stages of data center designing and strategy?
You should include suppliers in the early stage. Because, first of all, you're not doing this every day. And we are in a world that is changing faster and faster. We've never seen this pace in changes. And we're in an industry where the scale is milliseconds, but it takes months or years to build a data center. And then we spend like 10 years to depreciate after that. So if you look at such a project, I quite often feel like a turtle trying to reach there before the rabbit. And to do that, I don't have a chance at all if I don't get any support, any help from those I work close to. And that is, of course, the design, build the data center. So I need to stay in really close contact with customers, with the market, with the business they are supporting, and with my suppliers to make sure that I'm a business enabler and don't end up as a bottleneck.
Okay, Peder, thanks a lot for your time. Don't forget you can follow Data Economy on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and Google+. We can also visit the website on www.data-economy.com.